we trying to live like there's no consequences. They tell us how to live right. We get all defensive. That's not the way that life works. Sorry to bust your bubble.
Hello and welcome to Real Talk with Helen. I'm your host Helen, and thank you for joining us today. We're brought to you by Attorneys R Us, that airs every Thursday at 1:00 p.m., where we talk about what to do in the event that you're in a car accident, a slip and fall, workman's comp, or criminal cases as well. So I also host that show right after Real Talk with Helen. So we're glad to be with you guys today. It's a blessing to be here today, even though it's a rainy day and our opening day was postponed for the Tigers. But it's a good day. It'll be Good Friday as opening day, so that's a blessing. And then most people are off or have a half a day, so it probably works out. Today we're going to talk about something that is very crucial and something that has affected me personally and have affected loved ones that I have, my family and friends, and that's identity theft. And a lot of people, when they think of identity theft, they tend to just think of their credit and how it affects your credit. And so we're going to kind of talk about those things as well. Hello to all of you guys with me on Facebook Live. Sorry you only get to see the green screen. I could show you how I look on the air. If you could see the screen there, it's it's a beautiful background. So you caught me. It's not my living room. That's what I tell everybody. Anyway. So we're going to talk about identity theft. So identity theft is, it used to be like a light thing that they kind of brushed over their shoulders before, and it was just like, okay, you make an ID in somebody's name and buy something, and that was it. Now it's getting to a point where us people that have the credit, or we can't even, prove that we are who we are because, we're having people take our identities. So I'm going to give you some tips on things that you can look for to see that if you're a victim of identity theft. One thing is to watch your withdrawals in your bank account. So sometimes we have, like I had some things on my bank account that I didn't know where they came from, and they might have been $5, $10. But I don't care if it's 2 cents. You need to check with your bank. If it's something that you didn't authorize, you definitely need to check with them. You also need, if you don't get a bill for something that you purchased, or you purchased something, it should be a recurring charge, and you're not getting a bill, you need to tell them to send you a bill. I don't care if it's an email bill. It doesn't have to be paper, but it needs to be something where you can track how much they're charging you. If a merchant refuses your checks, that's a sign that you could have been affected by identity theft. So if you're being refused your checks or things like that, your debit card, you need to check on that to make sure. If you find unfamiliar account charges on your credit report, I don't care if it's positive. I've had positive things on my credit report, but I didn't do it. So even if it's positive, I don't shop at Best Buy that often. I had a Best Buy charge on there, and I don't know why. So even though it was paid, it wasn't me, so I had to dispute that. So you make sure that you're watching your credit report. And, just as a rule of thumb, I have a credit monitoring system. So I'm not going to give anybody's name because I don't want to give anybody credit, because my sister, now I will say this, my sister has been a member of LifeLock for years, and her credit was compromised, and they did not help her. And she was paying top dollar, probably about $70 a month, close to that, to have credit monitoring and some other things as well. And they didn't do what they had said that they would do. So just be careful when you're paying for credit monitoring. I probably would check, all of the different ones out. But usually if they're affiliated with the credit bureau, those seem to be safer because they monitor your credit anyway, so you might want to check that. Hey, Jasmine, it's good to see you. And Wanda, I see you guys watching. I thank you so much. So I want you guys to watch your credit and pay attention, and also don't just think that if you're a victim of identity theft, it just affects your credit, because it doesn't. It can affect your taxes too. There are people that are filing taxes in people's name and getting the returns because they got bank accounts in your name. So you need to watch that as well. So you got your taxes to think about. You also have your health. People are going to the hospital in your name using your good insurance, and then you're wondering like, well, I don't have sickle cell. Why did I have that medication? So you need to make sure that you're checking all of that. You need to check the IRS for your taxes. You need to check the credit bureau for your credit. You need to check your health insurance to make sure no one is trying to imposter you and use your name. And if you're maximizing on your health care benefits, if they're denying you to get your medication for any reason, you make sure that that you check. Also, if you have been a victim of identity theft, there's things you can do. So if the company that exposed your credit information, sometimes like Target did when they had that big credit breach, they offered everyone credit monitoring. Take advantage of that. Credit monitoring is very expensive. I think I paid $30 a month for it just for myself. So you might want to, if they offer that, because your credit has been compromised by a particular company and your information has been breached, then sometimes they do offer credit monitoring. So please take advantage of that. And also, you are eligible for one free copy annually of your credit report. So you need to take advantage of that as well and make sure that nothing in your credit is raising a red flag, especially even your inquiries. If you know that you didn't apply for credit somewhere and you see GM Financial on your credit report and you have not tried to purchase a car or anything like that, then you need to contact them or contact the credit bureau and tell them that that's an unauthorized inquiry on your credit report. Also, in some situations, if depending on the severity of your credit situation, you can put your credit on freeze. So, meaning that it would be harder for someone to compromise your credit because you can make it where it's a PIN number that's needed. You can also make it where they have to call a certain number. You have to give a certain code in order to obtain credit. So that's also a good thing. Also, beware of instant credit places where they tell you get so much off if you, if you get credit with us, like say for instance Macy's or different department stores, they offer instant credit. You give 30% off if you get credit there. The reason I want you guys to be careful with that, because sometimes they go through different credit places to obtain credit. So say Macy's might send your credit through different agencies. So you'll get like 5 inquiries for that one credit card. And so you got your credit information out there in too many different places. You're the typical and you're a target for people to compromise your credit. So that's something you need to take advantage of as well. So definitely get you a copy of your new credit report every year and look over that thoroughly. And if there's anything wrong, then you take the steps needed to do that. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joy. It's good to see you. And who is that? I'm blind. Oh, Yvonne. Miss Yvonne, how are you? So sorry about you guys on Facebook. You only see the green screen. But that's because I'm live in the studio. I think I showed you guys my beautiful background here on the show. You can see on the set here. I got a beautiful background here, so it looks really, really nice actually, so welcome to my world. So it's good to see everybody. So yeah, we're talking about credit today. I'm sure the attorneys following us, we have the show Attorneys Are Us, and we talk about what to do in the event that you're in a car accident. Also, if you're in a slip and fall or workman's comp, criminal, all kind of stuff they can help you with, and we can even talk to them about if your credit is compromised. But I want you guys to realize that it's just not your credit. When people steal your identity, they steal a part of you. So this is you. So they're stealing everything: your name, your address, your phone number sometimes. It's so bad that sometimes people even go on trips in your name, and they obtain passports, and all of this information is being compromised. So I want you guys to be careful with your credit, guard it with your life. Me personally, I try not to use my personal credit as much as possible. I try to use my business credit, and where I only have to give my tax ID number, but that takes the time to establish. But that's something that I recommend, you know. So definitely make sure that you're keeping everything private, you're monitoring. Unfortunately, that's a bill that another bill we're gonna have to pay, but you need to monitor your credit to protect it. So there's lots of companies out there. I don't work for any of them, so I'm not gonna, give them any, publicity, because, I don't really know. I know I use a company and they monitor my credit, and so far they've done well. I will say that my sister had LifeLock for many, many years, and they did not do a good job. So I was not pleased with the service that they had, especially all the commercials and the infomercials that they run all the time to tell you what to do if your credit is compromised. And even the owner, get this, guy. So the owner of LifeLock, he posted, I don't know if you guys remember this old commercial where he posted his social security number. He posted his social security number and on the screen. And he said, I believe in LifeLock this much that I'm going to post my social security number. Well, do you know that his credit was compromised? I'm just saying. So if the owner's credit is compromised, what do you think the chances yours is going to be? So that's something that you guys need to think of. Keep your stuff private. Keep it together. I have a safe, a small safe where you can keep, documents, your passport and things like that. So marriage license, stuff like that, you need to keep it separate so, people can see that. Hey, Luciana, it's good to see you. I'm getting to see all my Facebook, I'm not used to this Facebook Live, so it's something new to me. But everybody, all the youngsters are like, you should do Facebook Live when you do your show, because then you can incorporate everybody and it's live. So that's cool. I'll try that. So that's what we're getting across today is credit and how to protect your credit, how to protect your identity. Actually, it's not just your credit, because as I said before, you have to consider if your identity is compromised, that means it could be your taxes. We have people that are filing taxes in other people's names, and they're establishing bank accounts and getting refunds from the IRS in your name. So you need to watch that as well. Any paperwork that is sent to you, you need to make sure that your address is correct. If your address was changed with the IRS, then you need to contact them and make sure that no false filings were done in your name. So that's definitely something you need to keep in lieu of your credit. You need to keep track of the IRS. You also need to keep track of your health care. So if you have health care coverage, you should get a report. It's not a bill, but it tells you details of when you go to the doctor, what services you had. You had an MRI, you had some labs done, so that you know what your insurance company is being billed. And if it's anything out of the norm, and you go to your pharmacy and you got a prescription for sickle cell and you don't have sickle cell, that's a red flag. Contact your insurance company, tell them that you have been a victim of identity theft, you did not go to this doctor, and you did not incur those charges. So once again, your identity is all of you. So it's not just your credit, people. Make sure you watch your credit, but also make sure you watch the IRS and your state taxes to make sure that no fraudulent taxes were filed in your name. And also, I want you to make sure you watch your health insurance, because I watch a lot of health shows. Yes, I do love The Resident. I love Good Doctor, all of them. I never got into Grey's Anatomy, so I hate to get in on the last end, but I love all the medical shows. So a lot of that stuff that's on that show, you might think it's animated or it's not real, but a lot of these, they get that from real life stories. So I need you to make sure you're watching your health care coverage, because they do have a lot of imposters out there that don't unfortunately have health care coverage, so they're trying to use yours. So make sure that that you do that. Also, get your free credit report at annualcreditreport.com. Annually, that is totally free to you, so make sure you do that. They do have credit monitoring programs through the credit bureau. The 3 credit bureaus, you might want to check up on that and see how much it is, if it's cost effective. I probably wouldn't spend more than about $30 a month on credit monitoring. I just think anything over that is just too excessive. But you do need someone to monitor your credit, because it's very crucial. In the event that you are compromised, you need to contact your bank and all your financial institutions. You need to contact your life insurance as well. Because if people are stealing your identity, that means that they can very well steal your inheritance. So you need to make sure that that is protected as well, that they didn't change your beneficiary and your life insurance. Oh yeah, it's real out here. So we have had people that have to prove who they are when their spouse has died, because someone else has their name and they're trying to claim their inheritance. So it's important that you get a hold on this, and your identity is you. And in the event that your information is compromised, there are steps you can take. You can put a credit freeze on your account, so it makes it harder for someone to get your information and things like that. So make sure you protect yourself out there, people. Protect yourself from people that do not care about you. They don't know you, but they are posing to be you. So nowadays, they only need your date of birth and your name to be you. You notice a lot of people, when we have these surveys we do online, they ask for your date of birth. I never give my right date of birth. You should have your online date of birth for things like that. If you want to do a survey, sure, participate it. Make your birthday January 1st, whatever year you were born. That is the safest way that I would say to do it. January 1st, whatever year you were born, 99, 2000, whatever. Just make it January 1st. That way you can remember it, or make it Christmas. Whatever day you choose, just keep it and remember that date. But I would not give my birth date online. I would not give any personal information. If you're purchasing things online, have an online card. I do. I have an account just for online purchases where I could transfer money to that account, specifically what I need and how much I need. That's it. Do not use your everyday bank card that you do everything with, you pay your mortgage with, you pay your car payment with, your insurance. Do not use that for online purchases, please. That is the first thing that you can change today. That's free advice for you guys, so listen to me. Do not use your everyday card for online purchases, especially around Christmas time. We're ordering things. They're coming from China, Japan, everything. So we need to make sure that we protect ourselves. So definitely do that. Thank you so much, Luciana. Yeah, I'm trying to give you guys all the information I can so that so we can protect ourselves, because there are people out here and they're in third world country. I'm sure you guys have heard of the black web, and if you haven't, that's a place where they buy information for especially U.S. citizens. We are gold, diamonds out here, okay? So we got people in all over the world that are trying to be us and trying to take our identity. So you need to protect your identity. And if it costs to do that, that's just a reoccurring charge that you will have to pay if you do not want to be like the victims. And my credit was compromised before, and that's why I am telling you this, that it is important that you protect your credit. It is important that you protect your name. Your parents blessed you with that name. That's a gift, and God blessed you with that. So, and you have one social security number that it goes with you from the time that you're born to the time that you die, and you need to protect it. So once again, I'm going to tell you what you need to protect. If you are a victim of identity theft, and even if you're not, don't be one. So that's good. If you're watching, you've never been a victim of identity theft, then I'm speaking to you too. Get protection for your credit. Get credit monitoring to monitor your credit. It is not just your credit that can be compromised. It is also your taxes from the government. It is also your state taxes from your local state. It is also your health care coverage that can be compromised, and people are getting prescriptions in your name, using your health insurance for their health benefits. So diagnosis codes, when you go to your doctor and they give you a diagnosis, if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, whatever it may be, Make sure when your insurance company sends you your statement that those diagnostics codes are the same and they're consistent. If they have you for something that you are not, you need to contact your doctor and your insurance company. I do not have sickle cell. I do not have ADHD. I do not have chronic lower back pain, whatever it may be, so it can be consistent. Everything needs to be consistent. If it's not, it raises a red flag. What that means is that someone, I've had a person that have told me that someone had a heart surgery in their name. So heart surgery was about $250,000, and they billed their insurance company, and this was not caught. They had to go prove their identity in so many different ways, and then you feel bad because you're like, gosh, somebody had heart surgery. I mean, you don't want somebody to die, but that's not my responsibility. So you need to protect your health care coverage as well. And a lot of time with identity theft, they don't talk much about the other areas of your life that are compromised. So that's something you need to think about. We'll talk about a little more on the next show, Attorneys Are Us, where we talk about what to do in the event that you're in a car accident, what to do in the event that you have had workman's comp or slip and fall, criminal cases. They talk about all that. They're the experts. I just host the show. We have a great time with them, and it's great. Also, Helen's Heavenly Delight, my beautiful mother, is having her grand opening on her birthday for a bake sale, and I do not have the address. I am so mad. I'll get it to you guys online. And also, as always, if you have any questions for me, and you guys are really good about asking questions and waiting for my response, because I got 50 jobs. I'm Jamaica, man. I got a lot of jobs, so I don't really have a lot of time sometimes, but I try to get to all of your questions as timely as I can. So Real Talk with Helen at Outlook.com is my email. You can also reach me via phone at 248-805-2000. The openings I have right now are for phlebotomists. If you are a licensed phlebotomist in the state of Michigan and you're looking for employment, I have a few openings for that as well. I also need a pediatrician for a Detroit, one of the largest PCPs in Detroit. That's primary care physician. I do all these acronyms all the time. But they're one of the largest in Detroit, and they are in need of a pediatrician. And part-time or full-time, whichever you prefer. They have a great need over there in the city. It's by a major hospital, so you have that support. It would be a great environment to work. So wanting someone with experience, of course, for that, and of course you have to be a licensed medical doctor, so that's more of a professional position. But yeah, I'm always having positions available. So if you're in the medical field or you're in the sales field, we have positions in toxicology for toxicology reps. Always trying to do what I can to help people and see if there's anything that we can do to help rise in our horizon, I guess. Rise our horizon. So that's a tongue twister. But yeah, so that's the main thing today that I want to get across to you, is to make sure you protect you. And every aspect, not just your outer shell and what you see. You need to protect your life and your identity. It is very important, and a lot of people, we kind of are lackadaisy about that, and we give our credit card. I even feel nervous about going to like fast food restaurants and giving people my card and they come back with it. It's too much of a delay. So I have cards that I use for that, where it's just enough money, maybe a couple of $100 to buy me gas, to go out to dinner, things like that. But you don't want to use your card that you use for important things to give people. The card that I use for my mortgage, for my car insurance and my life insurance and car payments and big bills that are important to me, I never take out my wallet. In fact, I don't even keep it in my wallet because there's no need for it. There's no need for me to keep that card anywhere because I don't use it. Everything is an ACH transaction or automatic. And even if you do need to use it, you should keep it just in a safe place until you need it. Have you a restaurant card like I use? Have you a an online card that I use for online purchase? Because I do frequently shop online. I don't have a lot of time to shop in the stores, and I'm really not in this. If I know what size I wear and I know the clothing, I just, shop online. It's easier for me. But I would do that. That's what I would recommend to you, to have a separate card for all online purchases or purchases where you have to hand your card to someone, because whenever you get that card out of your possession, that means that you're at risk to be compromised. So that's something that you need to think about. You need to stay ready and be abreast to what's going on. This is you. This is your life. And you need to make sure that everything is put away, all of your credit reports, your taxes, everything. I mean, you would not believe the stories that I have heard about people that have had other people claiming their children, filing their taxes, set up other bank accounts, and their tax refund went to that other person. I mean, can you imagine? So this is why we have to make sure that we are in contact with these bureaus that are protecting us and that are paying us. The IRS, the state that you're in, the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. You need to make sure that you're protected. Another thing, like I talked about a little earlier, is that I use my company name to purchase a lot of things, because your company is not an individual, it's a company. So if you use your company, then you could give your tax ID number. You don't have to give as much of your personal information. I know initially to start credit with your company you will, but after you have established credit with it, you will not have to give that information reoccurring. So just remember that. We are here every Thursday at 12:30 to 1. And that consists of two shows, Real Talk with Helen, and that is from 12:30 to 1. And from 1 to 1:30 every Thursday, I host Attorneys Are Us. And we're usually with the law office of Thomas Courts. And so one of the representatives from that law firm represent here and answer questions. We answer live questions. You can always call into the station live and ask questions to them. And it's good to have a free resource, for law, because, if I have a situation, I can pick up the phone and call Thomas and ask him. It's good to know that you can call somebody just for some free advice, because not everybody wants to pay $100 every time they call an attorney. So it's good to have a free resource, and I'm giving that resource to you guys too. Call 1-844-TOM-FIGHTS. Tell them Helen referred you, and they will. Thomas Courts is the attorney over there, or one of his attorneys on staff. They are answering the phones all day, 24/7. So feel free to call them. Utilize that resource, and they can help you. So remember, I got a blurry screen. I don't know what happened here. Okay, so remember, if you have any questions, to email me at realtalkwithhelen@outlook.com. I will do my best to email you back as soon as possible. Also, you can reach me via phone at my office at 248-805-2000. Please don't forget about my openings. So I'm in need of phlebotomists, maybe even medical assistants, and we always need those, so you can definitely apply as well. Send your resume to realtalkwithhelen@outlook.com. Phlebotomist, a pediatrician, definitely. Of course, you need a medical license. You need to be a medical doctor. We're looking for at least 5 years experience with that one, because we don't want to take chances when it comes to the children. And that is for one of my clients that is in Detroit, near a major hospital, a really, really big primary care clinic there. So that is something that definitely, if you're available and you want, if you're in need of a position, definitely contact us because we're always looking. And as always, I want to say hi to my mom. She comes on at 2:30, her show Helen's Heavenly Delight, and she is showing everyone that despite your age and your golden years, you can do it. My mother is opening her bakery on Jefferson. I do not have the address. I will post it next time. I will have her give me the address and I'll put it online. But she's having her grand opening on her birthday, April 7th. And she makes the best cakes, pies, cupcakes, everything, all these things to fatten people up. But, you just got to have some willpower, Trust me, I know I've been dealing with it all my life. But she has wonderful baked goods, and she wants to share those with you guys. And she has been praying for this for many, many years to have her own bakery. She retired from Wayne County I want to say about 5 years ago. And since then, she has been on a mission to do the things in life to make her happy. And I want to tell anyone out there, if you're in your golden years and you don't think you can, you better look at my mom. Helen Briggs is doing it. So I am so proud of her. So thank you guys for watching. I am blessed by the best. Thank you for watching Real Talk with Helen. We will see you next week.
We trying to live like there's no consequences. They tell us how to live right. We get all defensive. That's not the way that life works. Sorry to bust your bubble. Every day that